everyone, welcome to GBE Reviews. I'm your host Joe, and today I'm going to be talking about the anime Pandora Hearts. Pandora Hearts is a 25-episode, single-season anime produced by GBE in 2009. Its source material is a manga which shares the same name. One thing to note is that the manga ran from 2006 to 2015, so a good deal of the story was unwritten at the time the anime aired. The story of Pandora Hearts is one full of mystery. It follows Azu Bazilius, the heir of the Bazilius house. During his coming-of-age ceremony, he is captured and banished to a realm known as the Abyss. From there, he meets a girl named Alice, or B-Rabbit, and their story unfolds from there. As far as the plot, it is quite complex and filled with many characters and intertwining stories that can be a bit difficult to follow. The main gist of it is that there are entities from the Abyss called chains, which contract with humans from the normal world referred to as contractors. This kind of relationship is seen in many anime and isn't terribly unique. What is unique is that the life of the contractor and chain are bound together. Each time the chain uses the contractor's power, a marking over the contractor's heart will grow, and once it is complete, both the contractor and chain will be dragged into the abyss where they are forced to stay forever. Without spoiling anything, there are two major entities in play during the story. First, there are the Pandora, an organization formed by the four great dukedom families. Each of them holds a family chain and also a door to the abyss. Their job is to research the abyss and to fight and eliminate illegal contractors who use chains for nefarious things. The other major entity is the Children of Misfortune, an organization fighting the Pandora who tried to seal Oz away in the abyss. A major part of the story is a fight between those two entities. The other major driver of the story is a search for Alice's memories. Going into too much detail would ruin the story. Just know that Alice has lost her memories, and she is on a quest to find them. There are other mysterious and interesting questions such as, why was Oz sealed away in the abyss? Who is the will of the abyss, and how does she relate to Alice? What is Alice's backstory? Why was she sealed in the abyss, and why did she lose her memories? There are quite a few other subplots between the characters, but those are the major stories. Given the anime aired well before the manga finished, the story does not come to a concrete ending. Its ending stops in such a way as to leave you wanting more, though I've seen far worse, especially from an incomplete manga. One other thing I'd like to mention. You know how a lot of anime do preview of next week's episode? I think the way it is handled in Pandora Hearts is particularly interesting. There are small text snippets and clips from the show that give you a bit of an idea about the next episode in a dramatic and mysterious way. Here are a few clips from the end of an episode or two to give you an idea what I'm talking about. Now that I've given you an idea about the story, let's talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack of this anime is fantastic. Definitely one of my personal favorites. The music is mostly orchestral in nature, with some vocal pieces as well. There are some cool fast-paced songs during fight scenes that have a solid beat and enhance the combat as well. As this is such a strong OST, I'm going to play my top 5 songs to give you an idea of the kind of music you're going to hear. this anime is decent. It is done in 2009, but isn't anything to write home about. One thing I did find neat was the period-specific costumes incorporated through the anime. This adds a bit of flair to what would be a typical anime otherwise. Also, the anime has some Alice in Wonderland lore, such as the main character and the incorporation of other Wonderland characters such as Cheshire Cat and Mad Hatter, so there's a bit of a fantasy feel to the art design as well. The character designs themselves look nice. One thing I wish is there was more variety in the chains represented. You only end up seeing a small handful throughout the anime, and a bit of diversity would have been nice. The main character is Oz Bezedius. Oz is a 15-year-old boy who is banished to the Abyss during his coming-of-age ceremony. Time is warped in the Abyss, so by the time he escapes, over 10 years have passed in the normal world. Therefore, everyone he knew has aged 10 years, and he now has a substantial age gap to all those people he knew before. There is a solid relationship between Oz and his friends, especially Alice. He always wants to help and tries his best, though he has a dark past and lacks maturity. During the series, he does quite a bit of growing up, and learns that needless sacrificing doesn't help anyone, and to be a truly strong man means doing the best you can without hurting yourself or others around you. The other main character is Alice. She is a chain, and is normally known as the strongest chain of them all. She is strong-willed and bossy, and tends to fight with her peers often. She has suffered a tragic past and spent a countless amount of time alone in the Abyss. As she gets used to being around others, she softens a bit and grows attached to her friends, especially Oz. As she learns more about her past and uncovers each piece of her memories, we slowly learn about her past. This causes quite a bit of pain and heartache and drives strong changes in her. There are several other characters of varying degrees of importance. There are good characters, bad characters, and a few truly evil and sadistic characters. Over time, the motives of each character come into play. Many of their backstories are quite interesting, and I found that learning about each character and their past greatly enhanced the story. Alright, so let's answer the number one most important question. Should you watch this anime? Let's review some of the good and bad elements of Pandora Hearts, and who should watch this anime. So the kind of people who would like Pandora Hearts, aka the good. Do you like a mysterious story that focuses heavily on character development and learning about events of the past? Do you appreciate an excellent emotional soundtrack? Do you appreciate Alice in Wonderland and feel you would enjoy the subtle nods to fans of the franchise? Do you enjoy anime that takes place during a more Victorian-esque era? And finally, do you like a lead character who grows up during the duration of the anime and truly changes his philosophy on life? Alright, now the kind of people who would dislike Pandora Hearts, aka the bad. Do you dislike anime that looks a bit dated? Do you dislike anime without a concrete ending that leaves you with lots of questions once you finish the final episode? Do you dislike what can be considered whiny, childish protagonists who can be a bit stubborn and frustrating at times? In summary, Pandora Hearts is a great anime that takes place in a Victorian-era world and focuses heavily on character development through a dark and intriguing story. If this sounds at all appealing to you, I suggest giving this one a watch, and if possible checking out the entire series via the manga. Well, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you found this review helpful, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of GBE Reviews. Again, I'm your host Joe, saying to you, Jeanne.
Oh, please don't let me die, waiting for your time.